Hey, good morning. It's me, Nisi. I wanted to jump on here really quick and do a short video. I did one yesterday and didn't upload it. I wanted to redo this one. I wanted to just share something with you quickly, a motivational minute for today, which is Monday, January the 31st. Then I want to share a couple of things that I found interesting and cross-correlate from the book, What Will Happen When the Anunnaki Return in 2022, and the Urantia book. Now, let's read the motivational minute, and then I want to go into this discussion really short and give you kind of my theory or my hypothesis from what I've read. Okay, it says on January 31st, I am your strength and shield. I plan out each day and have it ready for you. Long before you arise from bed, I also provide the strength you need each step of the way. Instead of assessing your energy level and wondering about what's on the road ahead, concentrate on staying in touch with me. My power flows freely into you through our open communication. Refuse to waste energy worrying, and you will have strength to spare. Whenever you start to feel afraid, remember that I am your shield. But unlike inanimate armor, I am always alert and active. My presence watches over you continually, protecting you from both known and unknown dangers. And trust yourself to my watch care, which is the best security system available. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go. And it takes it from scriptures, Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And then Genesis 28:15, I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Psalms 56:3-4, when I am afraid, I will trust in you, in God, whose word I praise. In God I trust. I will not be afraid. What can mortal man do to me? And then Psalms 28:7, it says, the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and I am helped. My heart leaps for joy, and I will give thanks in him song. Now, interesting enough how it says, I am with you always wherever you go. This is true because we know that from different things that I've read over the past couple of years, we know that these bodies that we're in are electric appliances. We are electrical appliances, and the brain is like a computer. And we are, for lack of a better word, consciousness powering this vessel, and energy that flows through us is from the creator of all things around us. So we all are intertwined with each other, whether we know it or not. And whether we realize it or not, the world out there will have you to believe in these different sects like Judaism, Christianity, Muslim, just Islamic faith. We're all divided right now based on the color of our skin, our hair, our culture, our religious beliefs, socio and economic beliefs, or social and economic dividers, I should say. And the sad thing about it is this is a young planet. The human race is a young race. We're taught that 6,000 years ago, these things happened. And really and truly, if you look at the data, especially that's presented with the ancient astronaut theory, truth behind it with supporting documentation, you see that we've been on this planet well over 200,000 years, right? The beings from above, we call them the Anunnaki, those that came from heaven to earth. Multiple races it covers. The Anunnaki is just not one race. It's a multiple or plethora of races that came here, and they kickstarted the civilization. They've done it multiple times, especially after the cataclysm. And we're up for another cataclysm. We're due in the next possibly 10 years, less than 10 years now, because this is 2022, and then 2030 or 2030s is when we are expected to have a magnetic pole reversal or pole shift. The north magnitude of the earth is shifting. We know that now. You can look at the data, scientifically proven. And they're saying that, with all the things in Hollywood that they're putting out in movies, they're giving us the impression that something's going to come out of the sky and blow this planet up. And it's true, it is. But it's not necessarily going to be an asteroid. I dare say that there are asteroids out there because we're in a certain type of we're in a certain part of the galactic sheet right now based on the Yuga cycles that's presented. So we know that there's something that's coming. And I dare say that it's it's been shown that the sun is the driver of climate change. The sun lets off this massive flare. It not only affects the Earth, it affects all the other planets. You can look at the moon and you can see the debris that looks like something blew up and just hit the moon. And this planet is remnants of a much larger planet that we know, that we've read. You and I have studied. If you've watched the videos, you know that this planet was once called Tiamat, okay? And the planet blew up for whatever reason. I don't know if it was a war in heaven or if it was the sun and the collision with the planets. We know that this planet, this planet that we're on, the remnants of this planet, came from the Sagittarius star system. That has been factual data proven by science, okay? This is what the scientists are saying. So our planet was not initially here in the Milky Way galaxy. It was brought here. It was moved here, okay? And the moon also was brought here. It was moved here. So everything is by design right now. So we have information to tell us this, right? We have the data, we have the text. And so my point is that everything that they put on TV, you really need to look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. For example, the movie Eternals, the Doctor Strange movie, Star Wars. I love that movie, Star Wars, where you see the part where they have a council meeting from all of these federation of planets that are all represented with all these people, different entities, species of alien life or foreign life. And that is really what it's like in the galaxy. And people here on Earth are like so dumbfounded. They're so busy chasing money, watching sports, shopping, the Hollywood, bachelorette, and just spending and wasting time on bullshit when they need to be trying to study our ancient past and study these texts and really grasp what they're saying and understand what your purpose is in this life. It's not to sit up there and work all these years and take a retirement, stay at home and wake up in the morning, drink coffee, get on social media, scratch your balls. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, you guys. I know I'm being a little rank this morning, but it's the truth, It's not to just sit here and wither away. We have so much potential and so much energy, and we've been dumbed down. I dare say the species that lived thousands of years before us were much smarter than us because they used the magnetite crystals in their brain. They used the gifts that the creator of all provided each one of us internally. But we have been limited by our ability because of the food, the air, the water, the indoctrination when you're born, believing that you're this body, that you're a black female or a black man or a white man or a white woman. You believe what you see, and you're stuck in this 3D world when really we're not even here. This is not really even in existence. There are multiple layers of the universe, and there are multiple species out there. And this is a great big universe. This multiverse that we live in is teeming with life, and they're hiding that. But eventually they won't be able to hide the truth anymore. They won't be able to do that. So I wanted to just jump on here and just read this one correlation with you and then let you get back. Now, in the book, I discovered when I was reading it, I wanted to cross-correlate the data from what it says here. In the book, it talks about the different spheres or different levels of heaven and the paradise isle. In this book, it does too. And what they state is that there is a council of 420, just like in the book of John, where it states that there are a council or elders of 420 elders. When you approach the throne, you see all these beings. Excuse me. It's the same. It's in this book as well. And it talks about the different dimensions and the different entities that are in these dimensions. And it talks about the different dimensions that are in this realm on this planet, that have visited this planet and that continue to come here and live here with us, among us. Okay? And so what I wanted to talk to you about was it says, this chapter, this paper says, who are the Alma, and are they gods, angels, or spirits? And note, it says the Ulema are not the Anunnaki Ulema. Okay, the Ulema are not gods, angels, or spirits. The Ulema are divided into two categories called the Daraja. The category 1 are the enlightened teachers, and category 2 are the super beings called guardians. They live in various higher physical and non-physical realms or dimensions, right? Okay, so category 1, the enlightened teachers, which we know would be likened to Buddha, Krishna, Lao Tzu. These are beings that were born flesh and blood here, but they ascended from heaven, right? They descended from, yeah, they descended from heaven and they ascended back up, right? So the enlightened teachers are people who also are very, very, very intelligent thinkers, scientists, philosophers. They are custodians of important books and ancient manuscripts about the origin of mankind, the creation of the universe, and the human races, and the multitude of subjects pertaining to the vital aspects of humanity. They are intelligent beings, right? And the key discussion with the Yama, they don't discuss religions, okay? They don't believe in a religious system. They believe in spirituality and growth, right? And the relationship with us and them, they're physical and they look just like we do, but they age less over time, right? They live a lot longer. They can read a book within a day and memorize everything. They can study a language and learn it in a week. I mean, these people are very intelligent, and they have gifts, and they can read the human mind and our psyche, and they sympathize with our tastes and our needs and our aspirations. And again, they don't age as rapidly as we do. They live longer. They live at about 135 years, where we're genetically modified at 120, meaning that back in Genesis, you know that Lord Enlil, aka Yahweh, was angry after the Tower of Babel incident. And so what happened was he limited our lifespan. They took out the number 2 chromosome. They shortened the telomeres. They look like little shoelaces with caps on them. So they cut them, they fused them, and they capped them off to where now our age, we regress a lot. We die a lot sooner. We don't live as long. You know, you see these actors and actresses that die in their 80s, 90s. Very few of them make 100. 120, very few people live to be 120 years. And that means you have to really take care of yourself. And, you know, it seems like now in this age, they say we live longer, but I don't really think we do. I don't think we've mastered it. I think later on down the road, they will start to sell the science and how to keep the telomeres from shrinking. There are foods that you can eat, right? But that's another video. So basically, they have the non-physical Ulema and the physical Ulema. And there's organizations here that you can actually have to be invited to be in. And it's so rigorous that many people fail to get into this society. And, you know, it's very interesting that the ordinary human beings are not trained nor prepared to communicate with them. They can't see them and they can't sense their presence, even though sometimes they are very close to them. That's the non-physical one. These are kind of like ectoplasmic beings, or beings that you'd see in light and things like that. So those are the different classes. But what I was going to say is the 420 elders, the 420 council members, they talk about this in this book, and I wanted to find it. I think I pulled the tab out of here, but it does talk about them, and it talks about what happens. Now, let me see if I can find this. In the book of Urantia, it talks about this. It says, at the center of the 7 angelic residential circles on Jerusalem is located the headquarters of the Urantia Advisory Council. The 24 counselors, John the Revelator called them the 24 elders, and round about the throne were 24 seats. And upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment. The throne in the center of the group is the judgment seat of the presiding archangel, the throne of the resurrection roll call of the mercy, justice for all, Satania. Satania would be, I would liken it to be my own personal opinion theory, and I could be wrong. Satania would be like Saturn, which is where the council would be. I know that the bowels of hell are on Saturn based on the readings that I've read, the ancient texts that I've read, right? So I would state that these beings, when they come together, it says this judgment seat has always been on Jerusalem, but the 420 surrounding seats were placed in a position no more than 1900 years ago, soon after Christ's Archangel Michael was elevated to the full sovereignty of Nebadon. These 24 counselors are his personal agents of Jerusalem, and they have authority to represent the Master Son in all matters concerning the roll call of Satania. And many, sorry, let me do this. and many uh, other phases of the scheme of mortal ascension on the isolated worlds of the system. They are designated agents for executing the special requests of Gabriel and the unusual mandates of Michael. So, now, let me put this, I've got a tab on it so I won't lose my place when I go back to it. So I just found that just be quite interesting. So I've correlated this book with the Book of Urantia and also the King James Version Bible, the Hebrew text, right? So we've correlated it with 3 books. It's just interesting that when you pick up another book, it gives you more detail. The Christian Bible, the Hebrew text, was cherry picked, and we all know this. We discussed this. We've seen videos. We've talked about it, I think, on other podcasts and things like that. It was a bloodbath, and it's fact. That's a fact. It was a bloodbath, and the Inquisition trials and the murders and the killing of millions of people in the name of Christ. And the Crusades, and person like me, if I talked about these things back then, I would have been executed, hung, or burned at that point, because they didn't want anyone to go against the church. And it's still that way now today. That, sad but true, a lot of people have died in the name of a religion that was not their own. And I dare say that we are not religious beings, we're spiritual beings. And there's where the disconnect. You see, God lives within you, and we know that. The spark of the vessel is just housing the spark, and the creator of all lives within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you, right? Take no thought, right? Because you know that if your eye be single, your body will be filled with light. I'm quoting scriptures, and you guys know this. So it's interesting for me when I see the data and I cross-correlate the 3. My theory with you all is that until you start to read other texts, you won't really understand it. We're limited by our own thought processes, and we're limited by the indoctrination. So once you start to break free from the indoctrination, you actually do begin to open your eyes, and you actually begin to piece things together, right? So the interesting thing about these 420 counselors, my point in making this video was to talk to you about the different levels within the sphere of heaven or space, right? We're taught that, we set Christ into our life, into our heart, that Christ is going to save us, and then we're going to go on to heaven and be judged, based on our actions here on this earth. True, but not true, because there are different levels within heaven, and we have to grow as spiritual or energy beings in order for us to level up, let me put it that way. And in order for us to get to the next dimension, the afterlife would be considered the 4th dimension. You have the 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way up to the 11th dimension, right? And these beings, like we talked about here, live in different dimensions. It says the guardians are in the 11 dimensions are called the wujud, right? And the Ulema existence, including human existence, goes beyond the 4th dimension. The guardians live in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th dimensions. The 7th dimension, The 8th dimension would be the ultimate one. So when you get to the 8th and the highest spheres, these beings don't have bodies. Obviously, they're energy, and they manifest at will and how they want to. And it says the ultimate ones, and the guardians who live in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th dimensions are noble entities who regularly communicate with chosen human beings and enlightened teachers for various reasons and purposes. The guardians are not physical beings. However, they can manifest to us in any shape or form using a plasma organism or a substance that human mind cannot comprehend. The Ulema receive knowledge and guidance from the guardians, and then it goes from the ultimate ones to the guardians. So there's different spheres within heaven, right? Like in the text of the creator says, Christ says, I go to prepare a place for you in my Father's kingdom. If it were not so, I would not tell you that, right? Something to that paraphrase. I'm paraphrasing. But there are many houses, many locations, many different spheres that you have to go through in order to ascend. So it's not cut and dry like religion teaches you. There's more to it than meets the eye. And that's my point. That's my hypothesis based on what I have read. You just don't die and go to heaven. Heaven is within. So until you work out your own soul salvation within you, right, you will then level up. You have to decalcify this like my son did, Alex. And then you have to keep yourself at a constant state of, I want to say, constant communication with the one. You have that direct category with him. It's almost like, you don't get your soul. You have your energy body, but you don't fully come into yourself until you do the work within and you open up those chakras. And then you fire up all of those chakras and you open up that to where you can receive the information from the creator of all. Because he's there. It is there. I say he, but it is there. It's always there. It's around us. It lives within us. It's just we haven't recognized it because we've been cut off from it, right? We know that from the lost teachings of Atlantis, what happened, right? So I just wanted you all to know. So the God that is in the Bible, really quickly, is the God that we know as Enki and Enlil. You see the old chapters, the Old Testament, and then you see the New Testament, how we have a very angry, destructive God, and we have a very loving and caring God. We are reading about the wars that took place between these beings from the sky, and we're worshiping the wrong God. And most people outside of this group don't know that, and they would not be able to understand it, and it becomes offensive when you talk to a person about religion. But in this group, we are open-minded people, and we can discuss these things. Even if you don't agree, it's fine. You listen, you learn, and you take that into your memory bank, and you have to work out your own salvation. You have to do your own research. That's my hypothesis. That's my theory. And based on that, which I have read, I believe it is an intelligence theory. And I believe that there is more to this planet than meets the eye. Thus, that's why this group was started, for me to just catalog information, dump videos out there, make videos, and do the self-discovery and work for myself as well as other people, other like-minded people. So anyway, if you all have time, order this book on Amazon and read it, and we can do maybe a jump on here once or twice a week and then kind of discuss the chapters, as well as the book of Urantia. That book is a beast. It's going to take me more than a year to go through and do. So I would just say that I can read chapters in it, and as I find something interesting, I'll jump on here and discuss it. I want to make sure that we still continue to do our research outside of the ancient text. Hopefully one day I will be able to travel to these ancient sites. I don't know, because of the way things are with the coronavirus. I dare say that I probably won't be able to see those things only in video, only in working through like the likes of Billy Carson or Matt LaCroix will I be able to sit on the computer and see it, right? I won't actually be able to travel there. And I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. I could be wrong, but I just don't see that. So I'm the person that has my head in the book, going through documents and research papers in the bottom of a basement somewhere, finding things that are interesting. And the people like you would be out there traveling and seeing it for what it is, making recordings and coming back and sharing that information with someone like me, while I'm doing the research and books and tablets and scrolls and things like that, and cuneiform text. So I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for allowing me to come into your home. And my hypothesis is what I stated. It is more to just that Hebrew text. When you start to read all of the other books outside of that and you form a picture and you put it together, that is when you will learn the truth. We're taught a certain narrative, in religion and in education. And then there's a whole nother narrative over here that's actually the truth. We're not taught the truth. We're taught his story. We're taught a version of the truth, right? And it's so far from it. The truth, the actual truth is so much greater than what you could ever even imagine. It just blows your mind. It really does. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Remember what I always say, you've got to be the change that you want to see around this planet, because it's up to you and I to make a positive change in this world for the future generations who survive the magnetic pole excursion or the crustal displacement. Those who survive that will have to rebuild the human society. And I dare say we may have some help from our star brothers and sisters again. But hopefully this video and many other videos that I've cataloged for future generations will be seen. Anyway, I love you guys, and you have a great day. Bye.